All right. The infamous TW Gatson, better known as T. So, just real quick, two quick questions. Number one, Hello Kitty or Sailor Moon? Which one you like?
Who's the second one?
Oh, never mind. All right, that's a perfect answer. All right, so then the other one is, what's your proper title? I know when it comes to GCU and there's executive producership going on there, but then you also have some engineering as well, musicianship. So, what's the proper title?
For Getting Close Up, I'm the executive producer. For the Sanctuary Entertainment, I'm the CEO.
Oh, see, okay.
Yeah.
Glad I asked.
Yeah.
CEO, okay. I am so glad I asked.
So the Sanctuary is the overarching company, and GCU is a show on
the Sanctuary Entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sanctuary covers the music, the
you're talking
production, everything.
You're talking to the CEO, yo. Hey, what's up, Guan? Bonjour, famille. It's Bump Jonas, and I'm here with none other than
T.
We're about to have a sit down at Syke, y'all. Let's get started. T, I love it. I love it. It's just, you are so unassuming and modest and humble, but I think it comes from your shyness.
That, and I'm a church boy.
Okay.
So everything that I do, everything that I know how to do, I don't know how to do it. So I just give it to God.
Okay.
He gives it to me, so I can't claim any talent myself.
Okay. Now, you say you don't know how you do. Like everything that you do, you don't know how you do it. So, would that lead me to believe that some of the things you do are self-taught? Like you don't have formal training, or you just don't know how you're able to pull off some of the things that you do?
Everything is self-taught.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I just sit down and do it.
Wow.
You know, when I started engineering, I would be in the studio. I'm a natural producer. That was always my role. But then I sat down and started engineering. And then I was working with some musicians. I was always the lyricist. I was working with some musicians. We were supposed to be producing some people. And anybody that knows me knows that responsibility is my Achilles heel. So if I say I'm going to do something, I have to because I don't want to let anybody down. So the musicians weren't coming through with any music for us to write for these other people. So I sat down and started playing. And writing music. So
actually, okay. So then when I think about how you are the executive producer of GCU, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you just like, well, this had to happen, so you're filling in the role, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
I can see it or hear it, then I can do it.
Wow, that's some Mozart type stuff. I'm gonna try not to curse because he's a church boy.
No,
no, don't worry. Hey, that shit gonna happen. Okay, let's be for real here. Hold on, I haven't even got my cliche question out the way. Who is T? What do you do, and why?
I don't know who T is. I play so many different roles. I just say I'm a creative. You know, my family, I'm probably the main creative.
Oh, really?
In a family of more studious.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. My youngest brother, he's creative too. He's into photography, concert photography, and everything.
How many siblings do you have?
It's 4 on my mother's side, and I have 2 on my father's side.
Okay, so there's 7 total. 4 and 2, maybe 7.
6.
So, oh no, so you're counting. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were counting. Okay, I can do some math sometimes. Okay, but
6.
See that? See, okay.
No, 6 including me.
Almost got him.
You almost did.
But okay, so I mean, that's some. You guys are outliers then. You and your younger brother are outliers in a sense because you say you're creatives, but the rest of the siblings are studious. Okay, so how does that studiousness rub off on you in a sense? Like, is that where the responsibility heel comes in? Maybe of having to follow through, or
The responsibility.
Do you take education a little bit differently, maybe, or trying to study and learn something?
No, actually, I'm a horrible student. Which is why everybody else is studious, including my youngest brother, and I'm not.
Oh.
But what I found out later on in life is I had ADHD.
Okay.
So I didn't know how to process it back then because I didn't know what it was.
And schools are not set up for that anyway.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't focus. I'm great at math.
Okay.
I'm wonderful at math, but anything I had to read or something, I just couldn't. I struggle with that a lot because I can't focus on it.
Well, okay, now this is a tangent question. I have tangents here and there, but I find it almost interesting that, I mean, maybe you found practices to help yourself focus, because in the process of working with you at GCU, you're a very intentional person and you have like structure and organization. And so how are you able to provide that and still navigate ADHD?
It's the only way that I can get anything done. Like I was telling you, if it's not on my calendar, I'm probably going to forget it.
Gotcha.
I have to have it visible and scheduled in order for me to make sure that I get it. But I've also figured out how to make it work for me.
Okay.
In the jobs that I've had, I've always been like a product owner, product manager, or project manager. So I have to multitask.
Yes.
So having the ability to not be able to focus on one thing allows me to be able to,
it actually hones in on your strengths.
Exactly.
So I like that.
I'm able to do that in a creative setting as well.
Okay.
The harder things for me to do is mixing and editing.
Is that because you got to sit and...
Yes, it takes so much focus.
Because some of the others, you're doing stuff and it takes focus, but you can do it on the fly and jump around. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So would you do well as like a movie director or like a network director type? Or you know what I mean? Like on set running stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably because you've already done that, huh? So, he's like,
Actually, my cousin Michelle Shumate, she's a film writer in shout out. She's a film director, producer in Atlanta, out of Atlanta.
Okay.
She when we first started all this, it was she and I was always the music side. She was always the film side.
Okay.
And growing up, we had a little 4-track, and I would turn that 4-track into 64 tracks, bouncing down all the tracks, because I have 1,000 background vocals in there. And then she would always shoot the music videos and stuff. I would write the scripts, I would direct, and then she would shoot and produce.
This has really been like a lifelong thing for you, this creativity. And it seems like you've never not expressed it.
Yeah, I've always been very timid about because again, I don't know how I do these things. Then I'm always like, can I really do these things? Do I really have the talent to do these
like
things?
a sort of imposter syndrome of sorts?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was not until COVID that I was like, I need to release something.
Okay.
If I don't do anything in the rest of my life, I have to at least release a single. This show, GCU, Getting Close Up, came about. Originally, it was an idea from me releasing my first single and trying to get radio play. Okay. And so it was originally going to be an internet radio station because, I have the full audio studio at home. So I got all the equipment and everything. So I was going to go that direction. My niece wanted to do a podcast, so I bought some additional equipment besides the cameras I already had for music videos and stuff. Right. We do music videos too if you're looking for a music video. So then she flaked. So I had all this equipment. So I said, what
we gonna do now?
Instead of doing a radio station, let's just do a talk show.
And so then GCU was born, Getting Close Up. Yeah. Okay, I like that. All right, let's have a little bit of fun here. What's a CEO eat for breakfast?
Red Bull and Funyuns.
What? I'm not mad at the combo, but I don't.
If you got a meeting with me in the first thing in the morning, you'll be mad at the combo.
I don't know if we need to sprinkle no salt on that. I don't need nothing added. All right. Oh, man. All right, let's be controversial. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince.
Ooh, that was quick.
Prince.
Do you have, okay, hold on. Do you have a disdain for Michael, or is it just you prefer Prince?
I don't have a disdain for Michael. I just question the validity of the credit given.
Ooh.
And I know that's very unpopular for a lot of people, but
You saying he had a lot of help?
no, it's not even the help. I mean, if that was it, then I wouldn't be a producer. I wouldn't be So, but I struggle because I am a producer. I struggle if I can't understand the words you're saying in a song.
Oh,
How do I get all these accolades? You know,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
That bothers me.
There's a lot of there is a lot of undecipherableness to some of okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's always bothered me. So I've always like, okay, but you can't understand half the song. So
I mean,
what is the accolades? But he's an entertainer.
Right.
And there's
a lot of folks that you can't, like, for me, rock and roll, the way they sway and swing some words is like, I don't know what you just said. My translator helps me.
Right, but to get this status, that's what
that's the rub, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But and I when I first heard I Want to Be Your Lover, I was hooked. I was done.
Yeah.
I was done. And I've been a fan since.
Prince is that motherfucker, though. You can't. I'm sorry, you can't.
He's influenced me not only musically, but even as a person.
Okay. And let's touch on that. How? In what way?
A lot of my beliefs, like the song Uptown.
Okay.
Where he's looking for this utopia of freedom to be whoever you want to be and to be accepted. And the same with everybody else that's there. I mean, why is that such a hard concept for
right.
It shouldn't be.
Right.
But it is for people. Yeah. And I just believe that type of world could exist. Ooh. And it coincides with me being a church boy too. You know, a lot of Christians are very judgmental, looking down at you. You're not looking like who Jesus should be, or you're not looking like who the church should be, and that's not Jesus.
I did not. I was expecting controversy, but not that kind. Come on now, I love it though. I love that. Yeah. Hold on. See, I don't even. My transition is terrible for this one, but I'm gonna leave that alone because that's a good soundbite, and I like what you said right there. But actually, you know what? No. This is a good time for me to stop and give you your flowers. It's something that I do in every episode, every time I interview with someone. I think it's important that people are given their flowers now, not just while they're alive, but also as they're working towards their goal, towards that success, right? And for you, what I find, I think the right word for me is endearing. You're very endearing. Like you're intentional, you're reserved, you don't let a lot of people in, but when they get in, you're like, okay, we're here now. What do you need? You're openly supportive, and it's just very positive in a consistent way. You know what I mean? Like I don't know a better way to say that you're not super flashy, but you're always there. Is that if that makes sense?
Yeah,
I hope that does. Yeah. But I think it's an energy that we need, especially in a creative space, because we don't always know that the person that is talking to us or supporting us is going to be there in 3 weeks or 3 months when something else happens. You know what I mean? And you have that energy of, I'm here. So that's probably the best way I could put it without sounding sappy, right?
Well, I mean, I truly believe that I'm doing my thing under the Sanctuary Entertainment. Mm-hmm. You're doing your thing with everything that you're doing. But we all have similar ideas. If we could collectively work together and make some things happen, you know, and that's really how Getting Close Up came about.
Really?
I wanted to create a voice for the independent creatives, people that are trying to do something creative on their own and make it happen,
Right.
and push. There's so many of us out there. Let's hear your story. Let's hear what you're doing.
Right.
You know, so I just wanted that to, okay. And it gets hard sometimes because what I was very surprised at in doing this is that even though the mainstream doesn't support us as independent creatives, we don't support each other as independent creatives.
Talk about it.
Either.
Talk about it.
That was very surprising to me.
Because you would think it would just be like, oh my God, this is great. Let's go, right?
Yeah. Or okay, okay, what are they doing? Or what are they doing? Because I'm out here doing it, you know. But we built the show to give a voice, to also educate other people that are out there trying to do the same thing and want to know, what are the pitfalls? How did you get started? You know, those type of things.
And see, I love it. You just proved what I was saying anyway, though. I love that, which I know that's why you were saying it, but it was just like, wow, that is perfect. All right. KCK versus KC Mo. I don't even assume that you have any issue with KC Mo or any difference, but like, I know that you've been a resident. You're from around here, so what is your take on this tension, friction? I don't want to call it a beef, but like, why? What's the deal? What's it about?
I really don't know. I just think it's a rivalry. Twin cities.
Just close proximity.
Yeah,
twin
cities. It's a rivalry because there's two different states.
Okay.
So it's just always been that ever since I was little. But I mean, again, we all here. We all got the same issues. We all try to do what we try to do.
So what's the point?
Yeah.
So really, it's like some sibling rivalry.
Yeah, it's just another way to segregate ourselves.
Ooh. Well, I didn't know you was gonna come with these kind of gems, man. Look at you. I also didn't know I was talking to the CEO, so we figured some things out today. Ooh. Now you've been creative most of your life, and you mentioned, was it a cousin that you started? Okay. So my question is, who inspired you to get into music? Like, it's really my equivalent of, how did you discover your talents?
I have no idea.
Okay,
I wanted to be a writer.
Okay.
And I dreamed of being a writer for
like a novelist
long time.
Or a journalist.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got into comic books and stuff, and I was drawing comic books like in the 5th grade.
Okay.
And somehow we did a family trip to California, and as you stated before, I'm very introverted. I'm very to myself.
Right.
And it was even worse when I was little.
Oh, okay. So you were just in a shell.
I didn't play with anybody outside of my family. I didn't, my cousin's my best friend. My sister's my best friend. My cousin's my best friend.
And that was it.
Yeah.
No applications, no new friends.
And if I was someplace where I was uncomfortable and wasn't feeling like, this is gelling, I would get a headache, so I could go to sleep, so I wouldn't have to play with nobody.
Okay. You just were not, antisocial.
Yeah. Can't be outside my comfort zone.
Okay. Man, we are so happy that you are here. Thank you so much. Besides all the trickery into it. But anyway. So how did you...
But we went to a family trip in California, and my cousins out there had this friend. His name was Bino.
Okay.
And Bino, it was when Michael Jackson's Rock With You came out. Bino could roller skate. We was down on Marina Del Rey, roller skating out there and everything. And he taught me how to dance and everything while we were out there. Yeah. And I came back, and I was like, I was a different person.
Right.
And I was still very reserved and introverted, but I was more outgoing. And I remember the first song that really, really hit me was, and I felt like, ooh, I can sing this, was Body Talk.
Body Talk? Mm-hmm. Who is that? I don't think I know that song.
Body Talk, talk your body with me.
See, now I go look that. It sounds familiar, but I'm gonna go look it up. By the way,
I think it might.
got him
It's
to
either
sing, y'all.
Barcades or the Deal. I can't remember which one.
I'm gonna look that one up. Okay. So, but I heard drawing and writing, and then we get to singing. So you are actually just a multifaceted creative. Like you said, you just flow.
Yeah, I'm not a drawer. Now I can design some clothes. I
Okay,
love
but you were just
designing
into
clothes,
comics.
But I was into. I thought I could draw comics, but
oh.
I am not an artist by any means.
Okay. Doodle? Can you doodle?
I can doodle, and I can draw some clothes, but that's about it.
Stop there. Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Little fashion designer.
But yeah, the writing is really where my heart was, and somehow that switched to music. When I remember when I got baptized, Mom was like, "You got to do something in church," and I was like, "Oh, the coolest job is being an usher," and that's what I wanted to do. Somehow, I don't know how, I was in the choir. And then I remember going home, me and my neighbor and my sisters, we would play choir rehearsal, and I would be the choir director all the time. Lo and behold, years later, I then become the choir director. So it was ordained.
Yeah, it was. Favorite music genre?
I would say I'm more of a rock pop type person.
Rock pop.
Like,
Demi Lovato. Who's a rock? Stevie Nicks?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I like Stevie Nicks. Of course, Prince.
Is Prince rock
favorite.
pop? Or is he like, I mean, he's definitely rock. R&B-ish though? Rock R&B?
It depends on what genre he's playing in at that point. And, he bounces back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty eclectic. I like everything probably except for jazz.
Really?
I am not a jazz fan.
How did that happen? What?
I don't know. Just not a jazz fan.
The most reserved man on earth is not like the most reserved music. Like,
I love classical though.
Okay, never mind. We're back in there. Okay. Worst fashion item created from your point of view.
Song.
That's a good one. That's a good.
Male or female.
Don't matter.
Nobody should be wearing that in public.
Yeah. Modesty is okay. It really is. All right.
I know you weren't expecting that.
That would fuck me up. All right, but it's a good answer. It's a good answer, y'all. How do you get your news? How do you go about finding out what's going on, current events?
I watch CNN.
Okay. All right, you're old. Nowadays that's probably considered old school, right?
Yeah.
In some ways, right? The reason I ask is because for a lot of us, myself included, we probably go to like social media. There's probably some site that has our info there. So I'm just kind of curious where that line is. You know what I mean? So
I didn't even have any social media still until I started releasing music.
Okay. Was that purposeful?
Yeah.
Okay.
When Facebook first came out, I was like, okay, let me get a Facebook account and everything. Had some friends and everything, and then I started looking at how often they were posting, what they were posting, and I was like, surely they have better things to do with their day than to be on here telling me that they're getting ready to eat a salad. And that just
sounds like our producer back there. 100%. Nobody heard you. I'm kidding.
And so it just used to drive me crazy. So I was just like, I'm done. And then, of course, if you're gonna release some music or do something with the show that we're doing, you gotta do it. That's the way of the future.
Well, we're glad you're here now. Okay, so we know when it comes to music, you like pretty much every genre except jazz. What is your guilty pleasure genre? Whether it be like TV or food, like it's something that you like that you don't really let people know that you like too much.
I love documentaries on serial killers.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you a Virgo?
I'm Taurus. My birthday was Sunday.
Hey, happy
Saturday.
belated birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
belated.
Thank you.
Oh my Lord. Okay. Off camera, we got some anecdotal backstory for you. Boy. That's a funny one. This I knew this was gonna be a good interview. I knew it. Okay. I'm just gonna write this one. I'm just gonna ask it like I wrote it. Do you ever feel like the world is just behind the times? Like we just need to catch up and start healing and kind of get our shit together and get over it?
Not to get too deep and go church boy, but I feel like we're exactly where we're supposed to be.
Okay.
There has to be total disarray for the Antichrist to rise and look like the Savior. So I felt like when Barack was voted in as president, that was the catalyst to start the
disarray.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a point.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what does that do for you in this perspective, right? In that perspective, you're right. Like the disarray does kind of kick off when Barack goes in office, right? And especially that second time, right? So how does that make you feel seeing where we are now? And I know, and I don't necessarily want to go too political or militant, boy, about it. Please feel free to go keep going church, boy. But does that help you reinforce your faith, or does it help you sort of give a clearer picture to other people when you're talking about the environment or the world?
It definitely helps reinforce my faith.
Okay.
Because, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the things unseen. But you're seeing it. So that's even,
it's just like right
it's
there.
coming into fruition. And you're like, the funny thing is, though, a lot of times when I'm talking to people, they don't get it. They're not seeing it the same way that I'm seeing it. And maybe I'm wrong. People have been saying forever that the world's coming to an
end times.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. That's just how I see it.
Things are allegorical, metaphorical, and some things are just authentically real. But I mean, the disarray does feel like there's definitely a changing of times, right? An ending of one thing and the beginning of another. Definitely feels like there's something, right?
Yeah, I would tell everybody, Trump has to win.
Why is that?
Because it has to continue to get worse.
In order for us to either get better or for the fruition of things to hit.
Yes.
Wow. So in that case, it kind of, does that give you a certain comfort, or I don't know if comfort's the right word because it feels like you're okay with it, but it's just like.
No, I mean, by no means am I okay.
But it's,
it's not fair. Is the things that are happening are affecting so many people.
Right.
But that's really what has to happen.
That is the disarray that has to happen in order for other changes to occur. All right. No, that's what I didn't know we was gonna go there, but I like that. No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. That is why I got you here. I want to talk about all the totality of T, because all of that feeds into GCU. All of that feeds into not just who you are, but what you're accomplishing and how you do it. How you're the mainstay and consistent person in the scene that you are.
Even the way that I accept the different artists onto the show or look for the different artists and everything. It's really with that uptown mentality.
Right.
Come one, come all. This is a safe place. Let's all just come and.
I love that. I love that. That is actually how we can, kind of catch up to the times and start healing if we just take really that mentality. I love that. Okay. What's something that KC is missing as far as entertainment? from your perspective? Like, do we need something else? Do we need to change or adjust the way that our entertainment is handled here in KC?
I don't think so. I mean, it's hard to judge somebody else's business practices.
Okay.
I think it's when you see something that you don't like, then create something
that you do. That's just, I mean, switch to the other arm. Messing with T over here. Describe one of your greatest wins so far, because I know you got more coming.
Releasing my first single.
Okay.
Releasing my first single.
How did that feel?
It was the most horrifying, scary experience I've ever had in my entire life. I got it already because, again, I'm writing the music, the lyrics, I'm producing the song, I'm mixing it, I'm doing everything. And you have all the confidence up until everybody else is going to hear it.
Yes.
And you're like, so the day before it was released, I was like, what the hell made me think that I could do this? I can't do this. I actually called my best friend from high school, David Cox. Shout out, David. And I was like, what am I doing? Right. Why do I think I can do this? You know, he talked me through it.
Good. Thank you. Shout out to David. Thank you. Okay, well, where can we find that right now? Is it still out there?
It's on, it's on all streaming platforms. You can download it from iTunes or Apple Music or Amazon Music or what have you.
And is it under TW Gatson or?
It's the first single is under Metro Praise.
Okay.
Because that was the name of the group. And now that group disbanded, and now I record my gospel music under a collective called The Sanctuary. So the second single, which is In My Victory, the first single is I Choose You, and the second single is In My Victory.
I Choose You is the video that I saw.
Yeah.
I love that one. I love that one. That was funny. So we have the projects going, and that's out now. Or, I mean, this is all out now, and they need to follow up on that. But how long of a hiatus between releasing a single and GCU? Because you mentioned COVID as well. Like, that was when you were like, I got to get this out, right? So
we released I Choose You at the beginning, right before COVID.
Okay.
So
like 2018, 2019.
Yeah. And then In My Victory was right. I think we released it right after COVID, but we were recording during COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You had a lot going on in that period of time then, with a lot of things swirling around.
Oh, yeah, I was going crazy.
Wow. I'm so glad that you still got it out, though. You know what I mean? I'm so glad.
I was determined. Actually, In My Victory was a song that I wrote for me because I was struggling big time through COVID.
Okay.
It was just something that was
just needed to
speak to me, to help me.
Right, you wrote for yourself. That's beautiful, though.
And I was actually going to just record it as a single for me.
And then what happened?
And then every year my group would do a musical where we would raise money and give to the homeless program of the Wyandotte County USD 500 school district.
Wow, okay.
And so whatever offering we would raise went to them. We get gift cards and stuff like that to give them so that they can hand them out to the kids and the families and stuff. And we needed a song. Every concert, we would do all covers except for I would always write a song.
Okay.
And so I needed a song, and I told Frank, who is leading the song, I said, the next song for the next concert is going to be yours. And so I had that song, and I really, really liked it. And
Yep.
I thought it would really appeal too, because my mother loved the song.
Oh, okay.
During COVID, I was having a bad day, and I called her and I was like, hey, let's just go for a ride.
Okay.
I'll come over, pick you up. We can go for a ride. I'll put the top down because my car's a convertible.
Okay.
And so I said, I'll put the top down and we can just ride around. And so when I write a song, I put it on repeat in my car. And I just listen to it to figure out, okay, this is how I need to produce it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Mom got in the car, the song was playing, and she was like, wow, who is that? I love that song. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of gospel music I like. And I was like,
Mama,
that's me. She was like, no, I mean, who is that? I was like, no, that's me.
Look, she punched you like, why you ain't tell me about it?
So I was like, okay. So
you ain't got no choice now.
yeah, so
You got to do it.
yeah. So that's what actually got me enough nerve to release that.
Shout out to my Dukes. Shout out to my Dukes. Let's go. All right, couple more questions here, and I really appreciate your time. You've been very, very graceful for someone who was trying your damnedest. I'm using that word specifically for Church Boy to get out of this. Very graceful. Okay, name 2 of the 5 Heartbeats top-selling singles or albums.
Oh. Can't.
Good. That's a trick question. They didn't have no albums. It's from the movie.
They did have I mean, in the movie.
Oh.
They did have albums in the movie.
I wasn't gonna take it that deep.
Yeah, that's how I thought you was.
You know what? Okay, we going.
That's where I thought you was going. That's why I was like,
I was trying to be like they're not even real, but you know what? They are real in the movie.
Yeah.
And yep. Okay. We're gonna restruct that question for next time.
Yeah,
now look, I do have to pay some bills here, right? So this is where we ask a couple sponsored questions. First one goes out to Thrax Pastry, our #1 sponsor. Nothing for sale here, just a suggestion of where you can spend some time. This one is a super easy question. What is your go-to comfort food? You've had a long shoot. He spent about 12 hours shooting with me a couple Sundays ago. What's the food that you're gonna get home and be like, I'm done with the world?
Red Vines.
Oh, he was ready. Red
I'm
Vines.
gonna have some licorice or some Red Vines with me. Got to.
On deck. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Usually when we're doing a show, me and D are in there chomping on some Red
Now
Vines
get it out.
or some other flavored licorice
Okay.
doing the show.
All right, now this one comes from Sherry's Lounge. It's an executive lounge. It's a cigar lounge. It's everything that you need where you can dress up and slow down. You can look good and get your thoughts on without having to deal with any of the world's bustle. Just sit back and think about your own hustles. With this one, my question is, what's something that you would do with a cigar? Like, do you sip on a drink? Do you watch some TV? Do you, I don't know, play dominoes? What do you see yourself doing while you're enjoying a cigar?
I have asthma really bad, so I would probably be choking and dying and falling on the floor.
Oh, my God. We can't take this guy nowhere. Not to mention, there's probably jazz playing, so he already don't like it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You know what? We just going to move on. It's just too fun. Oh, my gosh. Look, we got the first one out. That's all that matters. Hey, what's your superpower?
Danielle says it's my ADHD.
And you know, you gave us a great example of how it works for you. So I like that
She
one.
tells me that all the time.
That's your superpower. I can see that. Ooh.
My boss probably doesn't feel that way sometimes. Sometimes it gets uncontrollable.
Slow down, like anxiety and that in and out.
And I don't like taking my medicine, so.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
yeah,
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
be off the chain sometimes.
Yeah. I don't even know if I can imagine you just poking people and eating red vines.
Oh, my gosh.
So just two more questions, and this one, I know that you're reserved, and I mean you're shy, but you have this immense talent, and you have this immense capability of connecting with people. We've seen you on camera in a group setting. We've seen you perform. So why are you not in front of the camera? Why do you prefer to be behind the camera?
Play to your strengths. You know, that's I'm the creative. Like I said, I was always the producer when it came to music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that's usually making it happen. You know, even when we had the group together, I was the driving force of the group.
Gotcha.
You know, so even when I was younger, when we had bands and everything, somehow I always become the leader. I always felt like I'm the least talented out of everybody, but for some reason they follow me.
They're like,
yeah,
you go ahead and point the direction, and we're just gonna go. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. You know, but to be honest, you exude that energy. It's not surprising. You know what I mean? It's just you have this orderly, organized nature about you. Like I said, you're consistent and solid. So it makes sense that people are gonna gravitate towards you.
Yeah.
Look, I gotta stop. I keep giving this man flowers.
And the one thing, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Right. You man of your word.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. All right, man. We're at your favorite part. The last question, the closing question. Now, this is a question I ask everybody. So when it's all said and done, when the show is over, when the song has been played and the performance is done, what is it you want people to walk away with as far as the T experience?
I want them to see the talent that I see in Danielle, the talent that I see in D, the gifts that they have, what all the different creators that come on the show have to offer, and I'm hoping that it's recognized and people support them, really.
Wow.
But Danielle used to work for me. And I used to always try to get her to do things, and she'd be like, no. And I was like, you have so much talent. I see so much in you.
Right.
And I've been working with Dee since high school. You know, she and my sister are best friends. So Dee's like a little sister to me. Right. She was always at the house. And then I found out she could sing, so she had to be in a band. So, so if you can sing, I'm gonna put you to work. And
see that? So that's what you do, though.
Yeah.
I love that. Look, we're at the last question. I'm not gonna keep it pushing. Now, I can't get you to perform at the Mecca, but maybe we can get D. We gonna get one.
Oh, I'm sure D would, definitely.
'Cause we can't get you, huh? No.
Oh, no.
You gonna play a little saxophone? Or? No, that's because he ain't gonna play no damn jazz.
You're right. Not at all. No.
So look, before we get up out of here, is there anything you want to let them know? Anything that we should be, checking out, tapping into? Anything coming up?
Right now, I'm starting to this week, starting to mix the Sanctuary's newest single, which is going to be called By Faith.
Okay.
I'm working on a movie soundtrack for an independent filmmaker that we met through the show. His name is Mario Lee. He's doing a film called Troublesome, and I'm doing the soundtrack and the music score for him. And Danielle's acting in it, and so is D.
Wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations! Let's go! Come on, man.
That's hopefully that'll be out by the end of the year.
Okay.
And that's a really awesome project because I've been able to call on a lot of the different artists that we've met through the show to play a part on the soundtrack. That's how community works, man. Yeah. And the Sanctuary, we're working on a new show called Rock the Mic, which is a music competition show.
Yes. We didn't even get a chance to touch on that. No, I'm sorry. Keep going. Rock the Mic.
It's going to be a music competition show where the artist has 20 minutes to come up with a show, and they'll perform their show, and we'll count the likes for a week, and the top 3 that get the most likes at the end of the series, we'll then move on to the finale where we'll have live judges and a live show. And
Okay.
they'll win $1,000. So that's coming. We're in the conceptual phase of that right now. So working
It's a
on
lot
that.
cooking over there.
Yeah.
And this is all under Sanctuary Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the Sanctuary is the group
Mm-hmm.
that has By Faith coming out.
Mm-hmm.
In Your Victory is already out.
In My Victory.
In My Victory is already out. And then GCU TV is the talk show that's under Sanctuary Entertainment. Okay, this is fire, y'all. Now look, I got to get us up out of here. I appreciate you so much. This has been one heck of a conversation. I'm going to try not to curse on this part. It's been one heck of a conversation here. Bump Jonas, and I just had a conversation with none other than
T.
Just that simple. Now look, y'all, as I always say, love yourself like you try to love the world. Do something to earn your place in the world this week, and just be some dope individuals. Y'all have a good one. Peace.